Once again, it's the greatest podcast ever lived. We're gonna talk about dating and why the dating market is so bleeped, and why you need to fucking get out of dating and start looking how to court and start looking how to be a husband. Because the dating market, it's a fool's game. It really is a fool's game, and the reason it's such a fool's game is because it's unregulated. There's no like bare minimum for the marketplace, and we're basically just going to sky high prices for dating, which means on the back end, marriage is actually much easier than it's ever been. It's actually a lot easier to get a woman to want to actually be with you long term than has ever been in the human history. Because so few men are actually taking on the responsibility of trying to be a husband and actually being serious about like a relationship, that most women are just like they're starving for it. And if you present the right opportunity and you frame it in the right way, you could probably actually have a very successful long term relationship slash marriage, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But if you're out here dating, trying to figure it out, or trying to find the wifey material, bro, you're doomed for failure. You're doomed for failure. I'm of the mindset you need to start saying marriage or I'm walking. And put your terms down right up front. Save yourself all the trouble. And see, one of the things that guys are so scared of is like they're terrified of losing everything. They're terrified of becoming living in an apartment, getting cheated on, getting divorced, raped, and all other types of shit. And that's a really valid concern. But there's ways to get around that if you actually like apply like a business model to your relationship. See, what most people have lost over time is that marriage is actually it's a life contract of business partners. You and your wife, or you and your significant other, the goal is for you guys to work together to build a successful life that you can then pass down to your children's children's children. That is the goal of marriage, and that's the goal of life. And we have lost track of that in this modern dating scene because guys got so hooked to fucking vagina. Every guy's talking about, I'm trying to get lucky. I'm trying to do this. I'm getting it for free. Like it's insane. And what you're starting to realize is women are just hiking up the prices of dating. They're hiking it up. Now we got lists of like places that women refuse to go. They're not going to go to Applebee's. They're not going to go to this. Blah blah blah. And you know what? I'm kind of with them. What they're doing is they're trying to price out the dating scene, because essentially what dating really is basically like escorting. Essentially, that's what it is for the most part. It's because you're essentially paying for a woman's time to go out with you, which is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. What you need to be doing, if you find a lady that actually shoots her shot at you, and this is what most guys need to understand: stop approaching, stop with all the lame pickup artists and day game and fucking bar shit. Stop that. It's a path to nowhere. It's a path to degeneracy. And all you're gonna do is end up fucking pissed off and mad because you might have got laid, but you cost yourself a relationship and you cost a tax on your soul. What you really need to start doing is actually applying like a business practice. So build yourself into a man that's worth the goddamn. Acquire a business, make a business for yourself. Put yourself in a position to actually be a successful husband. And then if a woman shows that she has interest in you, say, hey, woman, look, I'm not very interested in dating. And she's gonna be like, huh? I'm not interested in dating. Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm actually looking for a wife. So here's my criteria. This is why I'm looking for a wife. I do this, and this. I would need somebody to fill these particular positions to be able to do this. So I need you to be able to kind of be a homemaker, run the admin for me, take phone calls, clean the house. I'll help give you a little, I'll make sure you're paid. We work together. And essentially, this is my plan. I want to have 5 kids. I want to be able to put them in private school. I want to do this. So we got to work together in a, basically, you would call like an interim wife period, or almost like a probation period, which is kind of funny. It's almost like a job. Because that's really what a wife's duty is. It is a job. It's a responsibility. It's not just showing up, getting to marry, and then having a photo ops. That's not what fucking marriage is about. Marriage is about duties and responsibilities. Same thing with being a husband. It's about duties and responsibility. Your duty is to protect and provide for the household that you live in. And your wife's duty and responsibility is to maintain the household that you created for her. And by you two working together, basically being the yin and the yang, you essentially are able to build a relationship that's based off productive activities, constructive activities, and then pass down generational wealth to your children and offspring, and then your children's children. So you give your children the best possibility to be successful in the crazy world that we call like today time, modern time. And that's the thing. When you actually put trust in a woman and show that you are serious about your long-term planning of life, she has no option but to either say, huh, this sounds like a great deal because there's no other better deal coming up my pipeline, because don't let these women fool you. Yeah, they might go on a bunch of dates, get a bunch of Tinder swipes, but they don't want any of those guys. They're fucking, they're disgusted by most of those guys. And once again, the key point is to make sure that she chooses on you. So many guys have to understand, You are the more valuable thing. Women need relationships. Right? Relationships are like oxygen to them. They need relationship. That's why they have so many girlfriends. That's why they go to all these social events, because they need interaction. See, guys, we're more of a isolated, lonely creature, and we kind of accept that. And that's one thing you have to kind of accept as being a man is that it's terribly lonely. It really is. Even if you have a husband, even if you have a wife and all that stuff, kids, at the end of the day, nobody's gonna care about your struggles and your pains until after you're dead, and your kids won't even fucking like you, or not. They're gonna respect you, but they're not gonna really like you. Your kids are gonna fight you. Your daughter will love you. Your daughter's always gonna love you because daughters love their fathers. But your sons are gonna fucking just battle you and hate you all day until they hit about 25, 30, when they realize life is fucking hard, and they'll come back and say, "Fuck, Dad, how the fuck did you do that?" Because that's what every man does at some point in his life. He eventually comes back to the father and says, "Dude, you're the fucking G, because I don't know how you did that, how you dealt with me in my teenage years and my young adult years when I was battling." And the dad just goes, "Hey, look, it's all cool, son, because I understand, 'cause I was the same way." But instead of trying to do this whole day thing and filling out, listen, it just makes her not respect you. A woman wants to know that you know what you want in this life. So what you need to do is basically send her a proposition. Say, "Look, I'm looking for a wife. I'm tired of fucking dating games. I'm tired of all this bullshit. Let's sit down. I'm going to tell you what my life plan is, what I will need from you over time, how many kids I expect, where I would like to live, how I like to expand my life," and really sit down and give her like a life plan of what you plan to do and how she can fulfill a role and how it benefits her to be with you for a long-term relationship. Because most of the time women get scared when they deal with the dating thing because it's so wish-washy and they don't know which way you're going, if you want to be with them, don't want to be with them. And so they're confused. You got to really sit down and explain to them, "Look, this is what I want. This is what I want to get out of life." Now, you can either rock with it or you don't. And the key point is no sex, brother. Listen, I understand it's difficult. I understand. She might not be a virgin, I understand. But the point is, by removing the sex off the table, it really takes off her greatest weapon. And it diffuses her and it forces her to behave as a woman that will be in a long-term relationship. Because realistically, if you're getting married and you guys get to like old age, dude, at like 50 something, you ain't fucking like that. You just ain't. Sex is almost like a distant memory. And you start to realize you place a value on your guys' interaction and relationship. And one of the things I notice with most older couples is that like their communication skills are fucking excellent and they work together as a team. And there's clearly the leader, the man's the leader, and the woman follows. But the woman has respect because she is a part of the team. She's a valuable member. She might not be the best player, but every player is valuable on the team. And that's what so many guys keep to forget. They demean the woman, but you understand, it's your job as the man to lead and to coach and to help her become what you need her to be as a wife. And in return, she'll see herself as a wife. She'll have more value for herself instead of just kind of being out there in the dating market, just testing new guys, figuring out blah, blah, blah. And if we could figure this out as men, as like brothers in arms, that we say, look, we're done with having sex before marriage. We're done with the dating scene. It's marriage or we're out. Women will start to look at themselves differently and say, am I a wife? And that's a powerful question because every woman wants to be a wife. Every woman wants to be with a man that she respects and admires. And the thing is, you got to be that guy. Be that guy that's somebody who's respectable, that can be admired within your community. Not just her, but within your community. Be somebody that there's to look forward to. Be the light of society. And once you begin to like frame your relationships in that mindset, it's very easy to dismiss a lot of chicks that might not be good for you. And to be honest with you, most women actually take themselves out the game, which is very surprising. If you start actually coming off the bat being serious, saying, hey, look, I'm not playing games around here. I want a wife. So if you're not even interested in being a wife, let's just cut this quits right now. And what she'll look at that as a challenge. She'll look at it and say, this guy's different. He's not just trying to sleep with me. He actually is looking at me to be a woman. Not be a girl, but be a woman. And when you get into that mindset, and she begins to understand this man is actually serious, she takes your relationship serious. And the more she invests, and this is why it's so important not to have the sex before you get married, before you actually have like your terms of agreement agreed upon. Once you get to that point where you guys are able to like work together and she sees positive influence and positive change in her, she begins to fall more in love and she doesn't want to lose that particular aspect. But the key is on you. You have to be the leader. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know where you're going. You got to be able to lead her through the fear of the unknown, which is like marriage. And the only way you can do that is by knowing thyself. And if you don't know thyself, hey, go ahead, book a consultation with Apex Sapien, brother. I'm out here helping young people get their fucking orders, get their lives in order, find some purpose, get their fitness and everything right. So appreciate you guys for listening. And remember, dating is a zero-sum game. You're not going to win anything from dating. Dating, all it's going to do is just blow your pocketbooks and make you a weaker man and not make you ready for husbandship. Get yourself in the mindset of being a husband. Talk to older couples. Learn what they did over time and how they built themselves into the team that they got. Because that's where you're going to get your real wisdom from. Stop listening to dating coaches. Because dating is fucking stupid. You shouldn't be dating. Like, dating should not be something that you're good at. Because that means you're going on a bunch of dates, which means you don't have long-term relationships. Long-term relationships is like courting. Learn how to court. Fuck dating. Appreciate you for listening.